For generations, humanity believed the universe began in chaos and slowly organized itself into stars, galaxies, and the vast cosmic structures seen today. Yet the James Webb Space Telescope has revealed something profoundly unsettling. Enormous, mature galaxies appear near the very beginning of cosmic time, as though the universe formed with impossible speed, or as though something essential in modern cosmology has been misunderstood from the start. That discovery does not only challenge physics. In the next few moments, it may fundamentally alter how reality itself is understood. Modern cosmology rests on a powerful narrative. According to the Big Bang Theory, the early universe began as an extremely hot, dense state, expanded rapidly, cooled over immense spans of time, and gradually produced matter complex enough to form stars, galaxies, and eventually conscious observers capable of studying the sky. This model has explained extraordinary observations, from cosmic microwave background radiation to large-scale galactic distribution. For decades, it stood as one of science's greatest triumphs. Then the James Webb Space Telescope began looking deeper into space than any instrument before it. Because light takes time to travel, looking farther away means looking further into the past. Webb was designed to observe faint early galaxies formed shortly after the beginning of cosmic history. Scientists expected to find primitive structures, small, chaotic, dim collections of matter still in the process of becoming galaxies. Instead, Webb found something startling. Massive galaxies appeared astonishingly early. Some looked too bright, too structured, and too developed for the age assigned to them. Their existence suggested accelerated formation on a scale difficult to reconcile with current models. In simple terms, the young universe looked strangely mature. This is where cosmology enters dangerous territory. When observations conflict with theory, science adjusts details. But when multiple observations repeatedly challenge foundational timing, deeper questions begin to emerge. Perhaps galaxy formation happened far faster than expected. Perhaps dark matter behaves differently than assumed. Perhaps hidden variables shaped the early universe in ways not yet understood. Or perhaps humanity's map of cosmic history contains a serious structural error. That possibility creates a quiet psychological tension far beyond astronomy. Human beings live with an assumption that reality is fundamentally understandable, that careful observation gradually reveals truth. Yet history repeatedly shows that reality often appears stable only until a deeper layer is discovered. Beneath certainty, invisible complexity waits. The unsettling implication is not merely that astronomers may need a revised equation. The unsettling implication is that existence may be operating through principles still hidden behind perception, mathematics, and the limits of human interpretation. And what Webb may have exposed is only the visible edge of that hidden structure. At first glance, the cosmology crisis seems like a technical dispute about galaxy formation, redshift estimates, and early universe timelines. It appears confined to telescopes, equations, and specialized debate among physicists. Yet beneath that scientific language lies a much stranger implication. Reality may not be unfolding the way humanity assumes reality unfolds. The common view imagines the universe as a sequence, simple beginnings leading slowly toward increasing complexity. Matter gathers, stars ignite, galaxies assemble, heavy elements form, planets emerge, life appears, consciousness develops. Cause leads naturally into consequence. Time becomes the organizing thread holding existence together. But Webb's discoveries introduce an uncomfortable fracture in that story. What appears ancient may have formed too quickly. What should have been primitive looks unexpectedly refined. Structures expected much later seem present near the beginning. In other words, complexity may not always emerge gradually. Under certain hidden conditions, order may appear suddenly, as though possibility already existed beneath visible processes, waiting for the right moment to surface. This idea is unsettling because it appears in other domains of reality as well. In complex systems theory, order can emerge rapidly once invisible thresholds are crossed. In neuroscience, perception does not build reality from raw data alone. The brain actively predicts, filters, and constructs experienced reality through hidden internal models. In information theory, systems often behave according to encoded constraints that are not obvious from surface observation. Beneath visible behavior, unseen architecture shapes outcomes. That creates a provocative possibility. What if the universe is not simply evolving step by step in a mechanical way? What if cosmic history is partially shaped by deeper informational structures, hidden organizing principles, or laws still undiscovered? Laws capable of producing complexity far earlier than current models allow. Such a possibility does not automatically confirm simulation theory, mystical cosmology, or radical alternatives to physics. Careful thinking demands restraint. Yet it does suggest something equally profound. Human understanding may still be studying shadows cast by a deeper mechanism. And if the visible universe is only the outer expression of an invisible structure, then what comes next changes the entire frame of reality. For centuries, humanity has treated reality as something fundamentally external, a vast physical arena made of matter, energy, space, and time, unfolding according to measurable laws. This view remains extraordinarily powerful. It built modern physics, enabled space exploration, and gave humanity tools capable of seeing ancient light from the edge of the observable universe. Yet discoveries often become most important when they reveal not what is known, but what has been assumed without being noticed. The James Webb Space Telescope may be forcing exactly that confrontation. The central disturbance is not merely that early galaxies appear too large or too mature. The deeper disturbance is that the universe seems to contain forms of organization that current models did not predict. Something in cosmic structure appears to be operating with hidden efficiency, concealed order, or unknown governing conditions. Reality looks less accidental and more structured than expected. This raises a subtle but transformative idea. Perhaps the universe is not best understood as a collection of objects, but as a layered system of information, pattern, and constraint. Physics has already moved in that direction. Quantum theory increasingly describes reality through probabilities, fields, and informational states rather than solid material building blocks. At fundamental scales, matter behaves less like fixed substance and more like structured possibility. Space itself may not be continuous in the way human intuition imagines. Some theoretical frameworks suggest space-time could emerge from deeper informational relationships, almost as if physical reality is the visible surface of hidden code-like architecture. That language can sound mystical, yet it emerges from serious scientific inquiry. Information theory has become deeply relevant to cosmology. Black hole physics suggests information is never truly destroyed. Quantum entanglement reveals connections that appear to bypass ordinary spatial separation. Some physicists now explore whether information is not merely something reality contains, but something reality is built from. If that interpretation grows stronger, then galaxies, stars, planets, biological systems, and conscious observers may all be expressions of deeper informational order. Suddenly, Webb's impossible galaxies become more philosophically charged. If hidden informational structures guide cosmic emergence, complexity appearing early may not be an anomaly in the old sense. It may be evidence that visible development follows invisible rules more powerful than simple mechanical accumulation. What looks impossible under one model becomes expected under a deeper one. This pattern appears in human perception as well. Neuroscience increasingly shows that conscious experience is not a passive recording of the world. The brain predicts, edits, suppresses, and organizes incoming signals through internal models built beneath awareness. Perception feels immediate and objective, yet much of experienced reality is filtered construction. Attention determines salience. Expectation shapes interpretation. Repeated patterns create internal frameworks that influence what becomes visible to consciousness. Reality, as experienced by the human mind, is partly constructed through hidden architecture. That principle is psychologically profound because it suggests a parallel between mind and cosmos. In both cases, surface appearance may conceal governing systems beneath awareness. In both cases, visible outcomes may emerge from structures that cannot be directly observed at first glance. In both cases, what seems like spontaneous reality may actually be patterned emergence shaped by invisible rules. Behavioral science reveals something similar in human action. People often believe choices arise from clear conscious intention. Yet much behavior emerges from conditioned cognitive loops, subconscious pattern recognition, emotional encoding, environmental cues, and deeply embedded mental models formed over long periods of reinforcement. Decisions frequently feel free while operating within hidden internal programming. Habits, fears, beliefs, and subtle interpretive frameworks quietly organize behavior long before conscious reflection notices what has already influenced action. This does not reduce humanity to machinery. It reveals layered causation. Visible action has invisible roots. That same logic may apply cosmologically. Visible structure may have invisible roots. Galaxies may not simply assemble through random collisions, gradually sculpted by gravity alone. Large-scale order may reflect deeper organizing principles operating beneath current detection. Dark matter, dark energy, quantum vacuum behavior, or entirely unknown informational fields may be shaping cosmic evolution in ways modern science has only begun to suspect. This is where physics touches ancient metaphysical intuition, not as proof of mysticism, but as an interpretive bridge. Across civilizations, philosophical traditions repeatedly described reality as layered, with visible existence emerging from hidden organizing principles. Some spoke of cosmic mind, others of sacred geometry, subtle order, or underlying intelligence woven into existence. Those traditions used symbolic language rather than mathematics, yet they were often pointing toward the possibility that reality possesses structure deeper than surface appearance. Modern science does not validate those systems directly, but it increasingly reveals a universe stranger than mechanical materialism once imagined. A cosmos built from information, a reality shaped by unseen constraints, a visible world emerging from hidden architecture, patterns unfolding according to laws not yet fully understood. The philosophical consequence is immense. Humanity may be living inside reality while misunderstanding the level on which reality truly operates. Observation may still be touching surfaces while deeper structures remain concealed beneath equations, instruments, and conceptual limits. What feels stable may be only the visible layer of a far more intricate system. And JWST may have exposed one of the first unmistakable cracks in that surface. If so, the cosmology crisis is not merely a scientific correction. It is an invitation to reconsider what a universe actually is. Not empty space filled with scattered matter, not blind mechanics unfolding in silence, but a structured field of hidden order, where visible reality may be the outer expression of something deeper, more connected, and profoundly less understood than humanity has believed. And even this may only describe the threshold of what remains unseen. Most people never think about cosmology while moving through ordinary life, yet the psychological pattern beneath modern existence reflects a similar hidden tension. Human beings increasingly live with a subtle sense that something is missing, though external life appears structurally complete. Information is abundant, technology is powerful, and systems of comfort have expanded beyond anything previous generations could imagine. Still, beneath efficiency and stimulation, quiet disconnection often remains. Mental fatigue has become common not only because life is busy, but because the mind is constantly processing fragmented signals without deeper coherence. Attention is pulled in many directions. Thought patterns repeat in different forms. Unresolved emotional pressure quietly shapes perception. Habits of reaction become automatic. Internal narratives harden into invisible frameworks through repetition, then begin filtering how reality is interpreted. What feels like direct experience is often shaped by hidden conditioning. This creates an unusual contradiction. Modern consciousness possesses more information than ever, yet often feels less anchored in meaning. External knowledge expands while internal orientation becomes unstable. Psychological noise grows louder while deeper understanding becomes faint. The cosmology crisis mirrors that pattern on a larger scale. Humanity built powerful explanatory systems, yet new observation reveals unseen complexity beneath confidence. The mind often does the same, constructing stable stories about identity, purpose, and reality, only to encounter contradictions that reveal deeper layers operating underneath conscious awareness. That recognition can feel unsettling, but it also contains quiet significance. If perception is shaped by hidden structures, then confusion is not always failure of understanding. Sometimes confusion is the first sign that an old model no longer explains what is real. And that realization opens a deeper layer few have fully considered. A subtle shift begins when reality is observed less as a fixed object and more as a layered process shaped by forces that are not immediately visible. In psychology, hidden assumptions influence interpretation before conscious thought fully forms. In behavior, conditioning quietly guides response patterns beneath deliberate intention. In cosmology, unseen structures may be organizing the universe beyond current models. Different scales, yet a strikingly similar pattern emerges. Visible outcomes often carry invisible causes. This recognition does not require dramatic belief or radical conclusion. It simply invites deeper observation of how perception forms, how internal narratives repeat, and how quickly the mind mistakes constructed models for reality itself. Awareness becomes less about certainty and more about noticing hidden architecture beneath experience. That orientation changes how existence is interpreted. Reality begins to look less random, less superficial, and far more structured than it first appears. Not fully understandable, not easily reduced, but quietly ordered in ways still unfolding into view. And what remains unseen may be shaping far more than humanity currently realizes. Humanity once believed the universe was simple because its deeper layers were invisible. Then instruments grew stronger, observation sharpened, and reality answered with greater mystery. The James Webb Space Telescope did more than reveal ancient galaxies. It exposed uncertainty hidden beneath confidence. When the map begins to fail, attention turns toward what the map never included. That is where the deepest discoveries begin, not in certainty, but in the moment old explanations become too small for what reality reveals. The universe may not be broken. Human understanding may simply be standing at the edge of a far larger structure. And somewhere beyond what is currently seen, the hidden architecture of existence is still quietly shaping everything.